back. So, for our maybe end of first episode, possibly second episode, we are going to have a roundtable square discussion about cause positivity and nudity at conventions. So, I have a big issue with body paint and people wanting to put pasties on, painting their body, showing up to a convention, and then feeling offended, and they need a safe place to stay. For some, don't come in body paint, wear clothes. But you can also stay true to a character in a full outfit and still be sexy. So that's where we are. Who would like to open it?
Well, playing devil's advocate, there are a lot of artists out there that I've seen on YouTube. Now, I personally haven't seen the whole nudity body paint at any cosplay. I haven't experienced that, but I've seen...
Not in person. You've
not
seen
in person.
photos.
I've seen photos, I've seen YouTube videos, I've seen this amazing artwork that people do on their bodies. And I personally don't have a problem with it. I think the problem that I would have is that they would get offended.
Yeah, that seems to be
people want to take pictures with them or anything like that. There is a line between sexual harassment and taking pictures. There's a line of respect that you need to have. But if the paint is good, I mean, I've seen some tremendous body artwork.
Oh, absolutely.
And if that's their cosplay, if that's their art that they want to promote, I'm cool with it. It's fine.
Some of it is beautiful and so detailed.
Absolutely.
But like you said, it's more you're showing up and then
there's a
being
level
offended.
of expectation that you need to have that people are going to look. People are going to look.
Well,
what you're
and
signing up for.
that's exactly right. If you're going to cosplay at all and walk around in public at all in costume, doesn't matter if it's at a convention or if you're just walking around public in a costume, people are going to look at you in that costume. If your costume is mostly sans clothes, people are going to look at you with mostly nothing on. That is your right to your freedom. You want to cosplay as pasties and body paint? Go for it. I don't care what size, what shape, whatever it is. If that's the way you want to cosplay, fine. Everybody cosplays different. We talked about the last time that we were sitting down talking. We talked about some people find items, some people modify, some people build from scratch. Doesn't matter. It's all still cosplay. If body paint is your cosplay, great. Then that's what it is. However, if you are going to walk around, I don't need to have a specific spot. Have you ever looked at any of the photos from the original San Diego Comic-Con? Look them up and look at cosplayers from the first few years of San Diego Comic-Con when it first started. And there's a woman that is almost completely naked, body painted gold from head to toe with this like diamond pattern of sparkles all over with this big cape. I don't know what she's trying to be. She looks like an Art Deco piece is what she looks like. But she's buck naked, painted. That's how San Diego Comic-Con started. The first major event of cosplaying that we know it in the Comic-Con world as we know today, there was somebody walking around buck naked. So that's been cosplay from day one. So I have no problem if that's what you want to do. However, did that woman hide behind a wall or something when somebody went to take her picture? No. She wore it proud and she posed. Because if you're going to go out there naked, then you're going to go out there to show it. Am I saying that somebody who walks around in body paint deserves to be harassed, going, come on, sexy lady, I need your photo?
No.
Bullshit, that's wrong. You ask politely, can I take your photo? Can I take a photo with you? If they say no, then you get a great story of seeing an amazing person in body paint later on. You don't sneak one, don't be a creeper. But when it comes down to it, you better expect me to walk up to you and go, I really want to take a picture of you in that outfit. I've done it for Lilus I've done it for Electras, I've done it for every single...
I went as Electra with the white after she died and
The
came
Avenging
back.
Angel, yeah.
Yeah. I went one year as white and it was just strips. I had...
Covering everything.
Yeah, it was covering, well, mostly everything.
Mostly.
But I went with the expect knowing that people are going to look. I didn't get harassed. I didn't get touched.
People asked you if they could take a picture with
called,
you.
The cat called me, and I got none of that. So I think there's an unspoken rule that you just need to have that sort of respect. And that's not up to the person who does the body paint.
That's up to you as an audience being there.
As a human.
As a human being. Now, here's another great thing that we talk about body positivity in culture all the time. and I had somebody making the comment about, yeah, but at a Comic-Con specifically, if somebody's walking around like Electra with their ass hanging out, there are kids at a Comic-Con.
Yes.
I was like, yes, there are. That is wonderful. However, if you haven't already, before taking your child to a Comic-Con, talk to them about the difference between reality and fantasy, that should have been a conversation you had a long time ago with your kid, first of all. Second of all, maybe we can sit down and have a conversation instead about not sexualizing everybody who walks in front of us, instead of automatically blaming the body painter or saying that you shouldn't be mostly naked around my children. I don't have kids. I'm not going to have kids. If I did, I would take into consideration that, wait, cosplay is some people's license to show off their bodies. That's fine if that's what they want to do it for. Do I want to expose my kids to that? Maybe not. Or maybe I want to find out from other people who've been to that con. Yeah, it's a 3-day con, but Sunday there's really no sexy costumes on Sunday. It's really more family friendly on Sunday. Great. Then I'll go on Saturday. I'll take my kid on Sunday. You can choose to lay out your way. There's a responsibility of you as somebody going to the con as well, that it's like, I'm not going to show up to somebody's, as an atheist, I'm not going to show up to somebody's Christmas party and then tell them they can't say the word Christmas at their Christmas party because it offends me. No, I'm just going to be, okay, I have to be expected that I'm going to hear this throughout the entire, because I'm the one who chose to show up at your Christmas party.
Common sense.
But what if you're going to an event, and every single event that I've been to for comic conventions,
Yes.
say family friendly? I don't believe a nude body with pasties and very little fabric is considered family friendly.
Then that's your event's fault, not the cosplayer and not the
I agree with
audience.
that, and
The
I
cosplayer
think
should have
that
been
is-
stopped at the entrance going, this
But
is a
the-
family friendly, I'm sorry,
Exactly.
I can't have you walk in
But
like
they
that.
don't do that.
But
And that's
the-
the whole thing, is that
That's
they
the
don't do
problem.
that. We actually, I know that a few of us have attended a convention, and where this subject actually came up. Now, this convention was huge. It was the first one that they've done. The event was, just amazing. It had actually national coverage, not just in this area, but also through the whole nation. Now, my concern was, and my thing that I have an issue with, is the fact that cosplayers do come in all shapes and sizes. They come in all kinds of abilities.
Yes.
They have some that are risque, some that are full-bodied armor. My issue was that the cosplayers that they invited to this event to represent
cosplay community.
to represent to people that have maybe never been to a convention before, because with them selling out as much as they did, a lot of these people had to have been first-time convention goers.
Or they've just been
And-
begging for something in their area.
Exactly, or something to do. And then they represented it in this way. I don't think I would have had so much of an issue if it would have been partial. If it would have been, this is one form of cosplay, Vampirella, for example.
Yes.
But then guess what? Hers a full-bodied armor cosplay. Amazing. Then you've got another cosplayer who actually does a video game, or you've got to
Well,
have a variety to
here's-
show the
Isn't
different
that the
aspects.
convention itself? If they're the ones who brought the
And
cosplayers
that's what I'm
in,
thinking, that's what is coming to the point where I'm thinking, conventions are based on people, vendors and artists buying tables. You do not have a convention unless these are purchased. Cosplayers don't usually buy stuff. They usually, go there for free photography.
we buy a lot of stuff.
I do
We
too.
spend a
I
great
actually
chunk
do.
of money.
There's a lot of cosplayers that don't, though.
No, I know.
They go specifically so that they can do their lineup, say, this is my lineup for the weekend, where are the photographers, can I get my free photos?
Yeah.
Sure.
I can get that.
And I understand
that.
that. That's absolutely fine, because photographers, they're learning, they use it for their own portfolios. Absolutely.
We've met some great photographers
Absolutely.
that way.
And I have met some as
Shout
well.
out Perry. What's up, Perry?
Shane, love you.
Can I shout out Heroic Imaging?
Oh,
Because I
heroic
love
imaging
that
is
dude.
amazing.
You are
Yes.
so awesome.
I love
Look them
that
up on
dude.
Lee, I know
Instagram
you're
because they
coming
are
on the show
amazing.
soon.
Yes,
It's just that
please.
I would like to
Let me know
see
when so we
more
can
of
show
the
up.
fact that
Absolutely.
if you're going to say that you're cause positive, I think it's more lip service than anything these days.
Well,
I'm actually at a
hold on.
point where I see that people are lip servicing it and not proving that they stand behind it. They say they're a cause positive, but they're not.
But here's the thing for me. Your major issue when it comes down to it is more along the lines, for me at least, the root issue with some gender problems that we have in this society. Not in Comic-Cons or festivals at all as a whole, but the whole idea that why are the skimpy-clad women getting to represent the cosplay booths all throughout this nation? Because what sells?
Sex.
Why does sex sell? Because we've created a society that's constant. That should not be how it is. And if you see any of the Europe conventions on videos on YouTube or anything like that, that's not the cosplayers that are always featured. The ones that are always featured are the ones that do work.
Yes.
Because their society isn't completely driven by sex sells the way ours is.
Right.
Sex is a natural part of life for them.
It's taboo.
We've made it to not go into the full politics of why we've screwed up this country.
I also have an
but
issue.
we've screwed up enough to where when it comes down to it, we are now telling children, unfortunately, we're continuing this and telling kids, don't look at that lady, she's partially dressed. So what?
Really, are those parents actually doing that? I think
They're
a lot
normally
of
just
parents
smacking their kids or
aren't
putting their
saying
hands over their heads and pushing.
It's more the
These
idea.
kids are going to conventions and they have no idea
I agree
what
with you.
they're
They're
doing.
being pulled away and that's it.
They're
and
like,
that's
why is
stupid.
somebody looking at me?
It's
you're
more the
showing-
idea that
yeah.
that looking at a human form, there should be nothing wrong with it at
Absolutely.
all.
I agree
and
with
that's
that.
that's the problem. The problem is, won't go into it because Wonder Woman should not look like Gal Gadot.
She should have been an Amazon. I
Gina
agree with
Carano.
you.
But this
Yes.
is it's the
Gina
same
Carano is my
idea
Wonder Woman. Screw that, you can't change it.
Noted.
Lucy Lawless is
Yes.
Hippolyta, by the way, just as a
I
side.
actually
Would be
agree with you 100% on that.
amazing.
That is how
I-
it should be.
I went on that and I lost my thoughts, so I'm
Sorry.
done.
Well,
No,
and
what
the
you're
thing
saying is
too,
that,
but is
that
cause
you
positivity?
should have it be more for the characters. So when it comes down to it, why was Gal Gadot cast as Wonder Woman? Because sex sells.
sells.
Right.
So we had to make the Amazon a little prettier. So you made her. Yes, I understand she has Israeli military training, so she can actually kick ass.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, she's still a fucking supermodel.
She
She's
needed
still a
more
pageant
sandwiches.
queen. She's still, and I don't care. But if you have a character. As cosplay, if Gal Gadot was cosplaying Wonder Woman, I'd go, more power
Yeah,
to you, you little
absolutely.
skinny thing. Good for you.
Absolutely.
You don't look like Wonder Woman, but you've done a
That's
good
not the
job
idea
building
of
a
cosplay.
cosplay
Right.
Cosplay
of
is
Wonder
doing
Woman.
what you want and keeping the play in it. This is
And that's the question. Where has the play gone? It's become
they made a
cosplay
business.
model,
Yeah, they made it a
cosplay
business.
nudity, cosplay fame.
Yep.
And where does cosplay play come into this?
That's,
It's gone.
It is.
no,
It is.
I don't. I don't think it's gone. I
It's
don't
not.
because I think people like us, people like you,
understand it, yes.
which means it's not gone because
We can't be
we
the
try not
minority.
to get
We
sucked
are the
into that.
minority.
No,
Yeah, I think we
no,
are the
because
minority.
anytime that you have anything in the news, anytime you see anything, politics, religion, anything that happens in the news, it's the minority that gets the lead. The reason why the minority thought process gets the lead is because since they feel they're the minority, they shout the loudest. Not to get into politics, who's shouting the loudest right now?
Exactly,
We
and I
understand
agree
that.
with that.
So when it comes down to it, the same thing is happening on the convention level. The convention level is, no. If you didn't build your own cosplay from scratch, design it, then you're not a real cosplayer. Because that's the vocal, loud minority that's
What's
screaming,
saying that?
you're not a real cosplayer. I'm the one who spends thousands of dollars building my armor from scratch, and I that's all I do all the time. You're a casual cosplayer. You know what? You show up in an Iron Man costume built out of Coca-Cola cans, or you show up with one that's built out of full metal armor that we actually hear it whir when you move, and you can open and close your fucking pardon me, your face mask.
I want a
Guess
picture with
what?
both of them.
I want a picture with both of
Exactly.
you. If somebody who is a supermodel who is wearing pasties and body paint, and the body paint looks horrible, I'm not going to take a picture. But if somebody that looks like me is buck naked in body paint that looks amazing, I'm taking a picture with that dude. Because I don't care about the size, shape, or anything. I care about that you did something that you love and you worked your butt
And
off
that is
doing
fantastic.
it.
And you know what though? I think I don't know if I have so much of an issue with the fake nerd. It's the fake nerd that it's like, you know, it takes away from the people who this is supposed to be cosplay, in my opinion, is supposed to be like you said.
First, you need to
cosplay.
define what a fake nerd is.
I believe that a fake nerd is somebody who actually dresses up in a cosplay costume and says, you know what? They have no idea what the costume is. They are dressing for this because they want pictures. They are a model. They
Yes.
want to be a model. That is what
Or
they
an
want.
actress.
Or an actress. Or they want to get attention. And they know that what is your biggest audience and what is the first people they're going to want to follow you? The nerds. So let's put on a skimpy Batgirl costume or whatever you want to do, and let's go get pictures and become cosplay model famous. And that is okay, but I think it has a place.
But it's part of the business.
Yes.
It's part of, if you're a cosplayer, if I was a cosplayer, it doesn't matter what I look like, if I do all the things correctly, like Morgan's a great example. She's marketing herself very well. If I do all of that and yeah, I want the pictures, I want the publicity, people can make money off of that.
You can.
I mean, look at
absolutely.
You can get a
Yaya
deal.
Han.
You can get a deal
Yaya
with Joanne
Han.
Fabrics.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have to say one thing about Yaya Han. I mean, it's okay, but I still believe that, yes, okay, you have the right to be okay with your body and yes, be positive. But you know what? What happened to where a little bit goes a long way? What happened to being sexy?
But she's doing the same thing that you didn't like. She made her fame wearing the skimpy outfits, going, look at me, I'm sexy, look at me, I'm sexy, look at me, I'm sexy. Now she's turning around as a cosplay judge, going, well, I'm gonna knock down points because all you did was make a sexy outfit and show up. Bitch, that's how you made your fame. Why are you knocking down other people? You hear her yelling at people all the time. They're like, yeah, but all you did was decide to slap cleavage on this costume. I'm like, yeah, all you are is cleavage and fabric. How do you not know that?
Because you know what? Cleavage is, to me, I think is fine. All the important parts or the private parts or the parts, see, this is how
But you're going to have somebody at the convention that's going to look at your costume and go, you show too much cleavage. That's
Yes.
inappropriate for a
Yes.
family-friendly event.
But that
totally
same
have that.
person.
You're going to have somebody that's
That
going to look
same
at my
person
star
is
makeup
gonna be
and say,
It's
that's
too horrific.
that's too realistic
Yeah.
Too
looking.
many people that are offended.
That's going to be, and that's
And
the
in
thing.
a social
You're going
media
out in
society,
public, you need to be prepared to be
it's what's
offended
gonna happen.
and stop looking if you're offended. That's all it is.
So that's how I should backtrack. I didn't mean, no body paint. Because
Right.
there's
No,
been,
I know.
Yeah.
It's the showing up knowing you're going to get the attention
Yeah.
because you're bringing the show, and then it's,
Oh my God!
I
why
can't
they
believe
look-
you guys have the audacity to look
get
at
that.
me.
To look at
you
me.
know,
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
more.
And I
Don't
understand
Don't
what
get me
you're
wrong,
saying.
if I had Ryan Reynolds' body, I wouldn't have a shirt on right now.
all day.
Okay? I would find every excuse on the planet to, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you're crying? Here, you need a tissue? There you go. Let me get that. Oh, I guess I'll just leave that off
From
because it's
top
wet.
purposes, I wanted to go ahead and go with Slave Leia.
Okay?
For one thing, I'd probably be, somebody would tell me to put my clothes back on, or somebody would say, wow, that's really indecent exposure.
But you know what?
But-
Those people can go
Yeah.
themselves,
And-
you
yeah,
know?
and the-
because
In the
they're
immortal
they're
words of the prophet Justin Bieber, they can love themselves.
Thank you.
Well, like at Grape
So
City
where
Con.
does it become, where does it become
I
indecent
view it-
exposure?
It
Does it?
It doesn't.
No.
In my opinion, it doesn't. And the reason why is because of the fact that you've just given me an open forum to dress up as a fantasy character, however that entails. So if a fantasy character is Slave Leia, and
Right.
I have a dude that wants to, or I have somebody 3 times your size, or I have a skinny little person, or you have anybody who wants to dress up at it, then go for it. You all are allowed. I want a great big group shot of all of you as the Slave Leias, and it's going to be absolutely awesome for you.
Right.
It's not indecent exposure. The problem that becomes, it becomes indecent exposure when you start treating it as sexuality or as sexualizing it. So if somebody shows up in body paint and they're getting harassed, and that might be the issue. Maybe people started asking for a safe haven because
let's
they've
say
been
that.
harassed too many times. Now, yes, I would say maybe I shouldn't show up mostly naked if I'm getting harassed every time I'm mostly naked.
Exactly.
However, if my character is Lilu from Fifth Element or is Elektra, and I'm getting harassed when I'm wearing that, my first thought, because I'm an independent person, would be, they're the ones with the problem, screw them.
Not
I don't care that they don't like it. I don't need a safe haven. I'm going to bring my own safe haven. You harass me again, I'm going to show you that this Elektra can actually kick your ass.
Well, don't you think then that it should actually
no,
be
a
the
couple of sides.
conventions-
You get stabbed
it should
once at
be
a
the
convention, you're gonna never
convention's
forget.
Responsibility. Yes,
Learning.
the conventions are putting cosplay is not consent.
But here's the
That's
problem.
fantastic, but they're also labeling their event as a family-friendly
Great,
event.
wonderful.
I'm sorry, to me, that is.
So here's the
I
thing.
think that's a
Here's
contradiction.
the thing. No, it's not, because here, so you're on the board with a con, and you get to be the one, you're now in charge. You get to sit at the door,
Yes.
people are walking in, and you get to look at cosplayers and go, you need to cover up. You're good. You need to cover up.
You
You're
post
good.
that on your event.
Wonderful.
I think
No,
you
do
should
that.
post it on
Wonderful.
your event, but
Now
I think
put me
they're
at that same
friendly.
door, and I'm letting different people through than you are.
Yeah.
It becomes subjective, and guess what? Then we don't do conventions anymore.
If
Because
they're-
you're going to label
yeah.
it family friendly, and I get to hear you say what family friendly is. That's not what I say what family friendly is. Because if I had kids, I'd let them go see Deadpool. That's me.
Right.
Okay? That's not you. That's not how kids. That's not how you should parent. But that's you. So your decision is different. That becomes the same as the MPAA with movie
Yes.
reviews, and it becomes one person's opinion of what is indecent, what is okay, what is family friendly. No, you simply say this. When it comes down to it, here's a list of guidelines that we have determined amongst all these conventions. Wizard World and Comic-Con can
Right.
sit down together
And they do,
and
they
they can
have all
try
that
and come
stuff
up with,
written down.
look, every gun needs to have the yellow or the orange tip. Everyone come up with that, send it out to all the conventions, and if they want to label themselves family friendly, they have to adhere to this set. If they don't adhere to this set, then they can label themselves as all welcome.
Then why don't they do that? They should put all welcome.
Because
they should
then-
put all welcome. You might be seeing things that in other
And that's
trends-
what they should
and they
put.
should do.
But
they
that's how
they
they
show
have a
they
disclaimer.
Show,
However, they should have a disclaimer
and I
going,
think that's-
cosplayers
that's
can
what I
show
think
up
they
in
should.
partial states of dress.
Yes.
You will not see genitalia, you will not see nipples. However,
You will.
any other thing you could possibly see.
I think
So
that
you
was-
should think about bringing
Yeah.
your kids.
You know what?
or not.
I'm good with that. I'm not
I think
good.
that would
I'm
solve
not good
problems.
with conventions putting any sort of dress code for cosplayers.
I like-
I'm not okay
Yes.
with that.
Well, nipples covered, genital covered. Done.
Well, that's
Right.
going
I'm
into
good
a
with
grocery
that.
store
Other
too.
convention.
So
Yeah, there's always going. There's dress codes for Stockton Con. For
Yeah, there's
Wizard
dress
World,
codes at
like,
all the cons.
All of them.
Really?
But then when
There
you
are,
read them,
it's
and
but
then you
they're
see-
they're very tiny and they leave it open to where
Yeah.
it's open to interpretation. However,
Because it makes money.
at convention, that's the
think-
thing. They're going
I
to leave
think
it
you're
open
right.
and
They should do that disclaimer.
because of the fact that when it comes
really
down to
do.
it, do you want to scare off too many parents from buying tickets for the kids? Because then there goes a bunch of ticket sales. Do you want to scare off too many adults that are deciding, well, maybe I shouldn't wear my sexiness because there's going to be kids there? So you're going to lose a bunch of ticket sales. I agree. I understand the idea of a
think
disclaimer.
they should.
However, if maybe we all grew up a little and just took responsibility for our own actions, and if you as a parent take responsibility for parenting your children and things like that, companies
But you
and
know
events
what,
wouldn't
but
have
you're
to come up
assuming that
with.
these parents are actually going to take the time to do that.
And that's
they're
the
not.
thing, because they're the
Unfortunately,
ones who
they're
decided to
not.
breed, so they should take the time to do that.
these are the same people that
Okay.
bring toddlers into the movie theater.
Exactly.
And that's a
Just
different
don't
point. The
do
main
it.
point that we go back onto, though, is that when it comes down to it, you post somebody at the door, it becomes subjective.
Well, I don't
And
think
if
you need
you-
to post someone at the door. I think you should put a disclaimer up.
And that's fine.
And I
Put a
think
disclaimer.
And I'm
that
fine with
disclaimer.
that.
I think the disclaimer would be good because you know what? If they say, "Well, I don't approve of this," well, you know what? It was in the disclaimer, and you have the right to choose or not to
When
choose.
you buy a
But
ticket,
when
you're agreeing
you
to
go
that
to an
disclaimer.
event that they show more interest in how fast they need to zip tie that fake gun of yours,
Mm-hmm.
they pay more attention to making sure that all your stuff is zip tied and all
Yep.
your weapon checks.
Oh, yeah.
They put so
But they
much more
don't
effort
do
into
any
that.
effort in the clothing checks, and that's because when it
Nothing.
comes down to
Because they
it,
don't want to deal with that because they're going to say sex sells.
Yeah.
My photographers won't come. the
because
girls
as
won't
long as
sell.
we keep a kid away from seeing a nipple, they can see a gun all we want. That's how America runs, and
America.
that's the wrong way to
It
deal
is.
with things, and that's
Yeah,
the
it is.
problem
But I think a
that we come down to at the
disclaimer-
end
a
of all of
disclaimer would
that.
show the fact that the conventions are aware of the situation, and I think by them taking that stance, I think it helps prevent some of the animosity away
But-
from this discussion.
But here's my question for you, okay? Is if the disclaimer is written in such a way that now stops one of your cosplays, what are you going to think about the disclaimer then?
And that's where we will
That you
cut it.
Oh, good job, Morgan. Wow.
So, our
Someone
guests have
else
to
answer
leave.
that.
So, we're going to cut it off there. If you have an answer or a thought on Jay's question, go ahead and email us, maleficent@yahoo.com, or go ahead and hit us up, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that kind of fun stuff. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
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 Toodles.
That was amazing.
So is that it?